Well, folks, it is official. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have fired offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. And the first thing I want to say is, hey, thank you to Byron Leftwich for everything that he gave the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the past 4 seasons. It's not fun getting fired, folks. I certainly wouldn't want to be fired from my job. So, hey, I wish nothing but the best for Byron Leftwich. But moving on from that, folks, this is a move that isn't surprising, right? You take a look at how the Buccaneers offense did this past year, and it was not good. They went from a top 3 offense in the league the past 3 seasons to the 25th offense this year. It's just not good. It's inexcusable, and something had to be done. Now, at the end of the day, the NFL is a business, and you look at the numbers, you look at the situation, and yeah, Byron Leftwich and his offensive staff were going to be the fall guys in this scenario. That's just the business of the NFL. But, I know people are going to say, well, take a look at the players that Byron Leftwich lost this year, and he shouldn't get all of the blame. And yes, that is a fair point to make. Ryan Jensen was hurt, Alex Kappa left in free agency, Ali Marpet retired, Rob Gronkowski was gone, Antonio Brown was gone as well, and while I do agree Byron Leftwich certainly lost a lot of talent, there were players that did replace those guys, right? Cade Otton, Shaq Mason, Robert Hainsey at center. Left guard, admittedly, was a pretty tough situation. You had Luke Gedeke and Nick Leverett there rotating in. But Julio Jones, Russell Gage, players were brought in. And I think at the end of the day, guys were just not used in the best types of situations. Running the ball up the middle on first down. The multitude of screens that were called. Just the plays that were called on drives just resulted in stalling time and time and time again. And red zone offense was abysmal. Third down offense was abysmal. It just didn't go well for the Bucs this year, and I think Byron Leftwich does deserve some part of the blame for that, and obviously the Buccaneers coaching staff, or the Buccaneers agree, because that's why him and his offensive coaching staff are gone now. But, back to that point of, Byron Leftwich doesn't deserve all the blame. Yes, I will agree with that. I don't think Byron Leftwich deserves all the blame. There's a lot of execution that goes in there as well, but one thing I will say is that when people make that point, they say, look at what happened the previous 3 seasons. And I would argue, yes, Byron Leftwich does not deserve all the blame, but does he deserve all the credit for how the previous 3 seasons went? What I mean by that is 1 year without Bruce Arians in the building, and there is this much of a drastic difference in the offense and how they are able to do. That's notable, and I think that you can make conclusions from that. You can ask the question of, does Byron Leftwich deserve all the credit for how the offense did the previous 3 seasons when they were a top 3 offense in the league? That's a legitimate question. Or was it just Bruce Arians doing the work and giving Byron Leftwich a decent amount of that credit? That's some legitimate questions that I think you can ask there. But that being said, man, it just didn't work out for the Bucs this year. And another point too, we've seen a lot of offensive coordinators this year do a lot more with a lot less than what Byron Leftwich had. 2 great examples in the NFC. You had the Detroit Lions, you had the Seattle Seahawks, both teams who finished with better records than the Buccaneers, by the way, doing a lot more on offense. And that's because Ben Johnson, Pete Carroll, they had a lot of creativity in their offense. They had a lot of just uniqueness and different ways to scheme guys open, get some stuff going on offense that we just did not see from Byron Leftwich and the Bucs. And at the end of the day, that's some of the biggest reasons as to why Leftwich is gone. The lack of creativity in the offense, the drastic difference between BA being in the building and not being in the building could raise some legitimate questions, I think, about how, who's really to deserve credit from the previous 3 seasons, how it's gone. I'm not saying that Byron Leftwich deserves 0 credit for how those previous 3 years went, by the way, but, there's just legitimate questions there to how much credit did Bruce Arians deserve in those previous 3 years as well. So, again, the stark difference without BA being there, yes, some of those other guys weren't there, but the Bucs still had so much talent on that offense to where it is inexcusable that the offense finished the way they did, or did the way they did, I guess I should say. There's just a laundry list of reasons for why this is not necessarily a surprising move as to why Leftwich is gone. Again, hey, I wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors. And it does suck that he did get fired, but, at the end of the day, the writing was on the wall. And one thing you got to consider, too, is Todd Bowles didn't hire Byron Leftwich. He inherited this coaching staff from Bruce Arians, especially on the offensive side. On the defensive side, yeah, those are probably a lot of Todd Bowles guys, but on the offensive side, Todd Bowles didn't hire those guys. Now Bowles is going to be able to get a chance to get his own offensive coordinator in, get his own offensive staff in, and that's just the move at the end of the day. That's going to be what it is. The writing was pretty much on the wall for a move like this. But folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions about this move. Do you agree with Byron Leftwich being fired? Do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts. Who do you want as offensive coordinator for the Bucs? There's going to be a lot of conversations we're going to be having about that. Also, there's still a couple of other staff changes on the offensive side that have been made. Going to be talking about those today as well. But anyway, folks, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.